Zeus Fiesta may not be the strongest Fiesta open, but it does allow you a almost guaranteed hold on waves you need to hold early. I like Zeus a lot for its ability to pro leak almost all the time and push an astronomical amount in the early game. And because of that, I think if you want to go something that's consistent and doesn't necessarily look like a Fiesta, this is probably a good candidate. That being said, I'm no Fiesta pro, so maybe look at someone else for that. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Yeah, so you're facing off against the AI. Keep working up that ladder, man. I do think up until about diamond, up until about plat, they're about right. I would argue they're about right for what like levels of players they would be, but it's tough for me to say. All right, so we got Jimmy Bobo and Don Daniel against me and Tasty Tanya. Ban this man. Ban him, I say.
Welcome to Nova.
I legitimately don't know how I'm going to leak with this roll. Correct, doofus. What I'm thinking here is heavy push Zeus. Ah, fuck, my teammate's already Zeus. I don't know how I have. What do I have here? I could go double buckler, but that's not fun. Let's just push too hard with Zeus and Fiesta. I could have re-rolled and found something better. But we'll be fine. Oh, I could have went casket start.
Yes, my lord.
All right, my teammate said he's willing to listen to tips, so I told him don't lose. Seems like a good tip, huh? Don Daniel very well could be egg. Decent tip? Yeah, that's the best. Exactly. If you don't lose, you don't need to win. You don't need any help winning. Duh. I think your tips would be more positive sounding. Just win. Good timing. I called that one. I let him know that you guys said just win as well. Just win, please. Ah, I see. I like the positive spin here. 4.5. So we go in the circle here, then I go 4.5 on the right. This should leak. Cat normally here. That's too soft? Oh, okay. Just the please is too much. I should leak this here, which is positive. Log chat. Gotta find the healthy medium. That's tough, man. Being healthy and medium at the same time is very difficult. little bit more of a leak than I would have liked, but, you know, we're kind of sending it. This guy just dropped a Holy Avenger on 3. All right. That's it. The fists are coming out now, okay?
On my way.
We want 7 workers, so I'm going to try to be a little smart and send here. Add an extra unit in the split. Don't really help me that much, but I kind of need it. Then what I'll probably do is put a casket next. Yeah, this is actually literally worthless, I think, to place. I don't want to do it anyway, I guess. We'll go casket next, like here. Casket should give us a healthy mix of being trash and also holding us. Enough. Do you mind if I shoot some questions? No, shoot them. Shoot them. Now is the best time to shoot questions.
Consider it done.
If I'm being honest. When I'm playing is about the best time to ask. I'm just letting my teammate know that my positioning guide I posted on YouTube forever ago talks about why you want to have it on the left-hand side for Zeus. Traditionally, though, you do want cat to be the bottom side of Zeus so it catches the split, as well as then your cat's not in an awkward spot long-term. I like having less in my split, but I guess if you look at it, cat's his only tank, tank that's cheap, so it kind of makes sense. This is where I like to have a T1 to add split, because then you do cat bottom, 1 T1 on the right. The placement of the cat's fine. Let me see here. I find it very hard to tell when I'm strong weak. Sometimes I'm holding over Valiant and often leak. It sometimes comes down to what they send you. Like what they send you is a very, very important thing. Because depending on if they send you something that's strong and or weak into your tanks, you can end up holding and or leaking because of that. But you can be negative 20 in leak and be positive 50 in leak. Like, it comes down to your typings, so always make sure you have a good tank type and a good DPS type for the wave, and you should be fine. For the most part, that is. Oof, you got negative 45 in 2 games. Oh! That is rough, buddy. I am sorry. Not really. Just get good, Keck.
Is my boomstick.
Toric, it also comes down to your positioning. Like, if you have good positioning for a wave, you're more likely to hold that individual wave, right? Like, last wave, my Zeus took enough aggro to kill boss but not die. And then there was, you know, more to it added on. So, like, it's a very complex game. Oh, yeah, for sure. Positioning is very difficult in Legion. It's one of the harder topics to really get right. And something that you'll probably have to work towards for a long time to really actually get. But you can win most games with junk positioning so long as you're on value and roughly understand what you're doing. Like, you'd be surprised. Value is realistically the king when it comes to Legion. If you're good on value, you'll most likely hold more than you'll leak, more often than not.
On your mark.
Value is legitimately king.
I'll give it a shot.
It's just one of those things that it's going to take time for you to kind of probably figure it out. But once you figure it out, it becomes really easy. In that regard, at least. I'm probably going to leak 8 now. I'll go double Ranger upgrade, though. Should give me enough value. Jimmy Bobo giving me that hard star right now. I might not get enough for both upgrades though. Shit. It'll be short. 3-1. Generally speaking, just follow the pushing rules when it comes to 40 per one, and you'll be fine. You only need to start worrying about like over pushing, under pushing, etc. when you get to higher elo. And if you're struggling with how to just build right now, don't worry about if you're overvalue, undervalue, etc. You're gonna hurt yourself trying to figure that out. Just worry about following the 41 rule and just playing smart and slow, and you'd be surprised on how much more you'll win. Just follow those and just play smart, and you'll win. I legitimately put money on that. Just don't get fancy, right? Like, don't get fancy with it. The more you get fancy, the worse it will get. You gotta understand the basics and the understanding the fundamentals of it all, and then you can worry about getting fancy with pushing more to ascend or pushing less to ascend. If you're trying to like push 3 workers to a 60 send and you don't understand if you're going to be strong 5-6, but they send you a 60 on 4 and you think you can overpush, you're more than likely going to hurt yourself. Put yourself in a bad situation. Like, I got sent to 200 there, but I'm currently 110 value on wave 9, which theoretically only has like 1,000 value. Right? So I'm able to push really hard here because of the fact they sent and because I do it. Be more safe if you're unsure, like 60 equals 1 worker rather than push 2 and overpush. Exactly. Getting fancy would be pushing 2 off of a 60. But if they send you a 20 on, like, let's say they send you a 20 on 3 and a 60 on 4 and you didn't push off the 20, feel free to push that extra worker off the 60, right? Because you've got 80 in total.
Off to work.
Yeah, no problem. If you have more questions, feel free to shoot them, dude. Again, I'm always here to help and answer. I actually enjoy answering questions. It also makes the videos I post a lot better when I'm answering questions in them. Like, I know the video for today, which went live a couple minutes ago, isn't my favorite because I think I was talking to Lisk at the time, and so I ended up just not communicating much with the stream. Which in turn makes for a poor video. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to build my tank a little farther forward here. Because at this point now, I want to try and catch. Okay, so this is something I talk about in my lock-in videos and just in general. I am a big fan of going for locking in of a carry unit if you're new to the game, and then expanding from there as you get more comfortable. Because lock-in will give you a good base ground to play off of, right? Like, you'll then have your carry that you were looking for, like you just mentioned, or your carry or your starter that you were looking for, and you can build off of it. Like Yozora lock-in, exactly. Exclamation point lock-in here in the chat. Yozora lock-in, Antler lock-in, Zerker lock-in, Graro lock-in, Badger lock-in. Like, most of your tank openers are going to be really, really consistent, especially for new players. And so I usually recommend going tank lock-ins. It's a whole playlist. Yeah, buddy. Not a problem. But yeah, I usually recommend going tank lock-in, as it gives you, I think, the most value. For the most part, I think it gives you the most value, and it's the most stable, consistent, etc. to build off of. I think you can go with other setups, but I think, you know, that tends to be the piece de resistance. You know, for new players, it's just consistency, right? It's hard to play if you don't have what you need to be consistent. And traditionally, lock-in's going to give you that. Now, greed is going to be like the baseline once you feel comfortable enough to start going towards other things. Greed is a baseline that a lot of people like. I personally think cash out is actually better for new players than greed is, as cash out's going to give you a good balance of extra gold to get a higher cost start out, as well as gives you an earlier worker push, which I think is beneficial for most new players. An extra worker, you know, early is going to give you more value than you'll probably realize. What's going on, Node? Doing pretty good, man. First game on, feeling pretty good about it.
Yes, my lord.
Ryan, I would recommend cash out to most new players who are looking for something to try different. It's a very consistent opener, right? Because you can go, I mean, straight up just going Holy Avenger is disgustingly strong, right? And you have that opportunity then with that open. They're called mastermind options. No, for sure, Ryan. I think locking in things like Antler are phenomenal. I would often say if you're used to locking an Antler, maybe try just transitioning into something like that's a little bit of a softer tank. Yozora would be another good option, but you have a little bit of a different, you know, weak wave, etc. I'm just looking at this. I think we go 14 if they don't send 13 on us. No, for sure, Ryan. For sure. The biggest thing you can do, in my opinion, to figure out what your bad waves are honestly just take some time. Hold on here. Sorry. Thinking about what I want to do for this wave. We should be okay. Take some time just looking at the charts. Oh, jeez. I must have accidentally added a video. Look at the chart here and figure out what waves are which, right? So, I do have a typings one. Like, let's say arcane. I have a video on arcane units. I have a video on a bunch of different varieties of units. I love Mario Kart, but that video shouldn't be in that playlist.
Of arrows.
Not hard in here, not that it does a whole lot, but you see we've got a lot of tank. We got some decent DPS, so hope it's enough. We got an extra 100 to send here, 150. What I'm looking at is just seeing what he has. I think I just go with some brutes and then a snail. Just add as much value as I can here. That's a lot of caskets. Yeah, because they're about to take a lot of damage. No, casket's my best tank for 14, and it does a pretty good job of shredding down all the sends, which I got a lot of, which I need to then shred. Slows down their damage abilities, etc. We're looking pretty good. They are both leaking really hard. We win here. I'm holding.
All right, sir.
Should I income send always early game? For new players, yes. I recommend literally turning on, like, if you are sub 200 games, even sub 100 games, like even sub 300 games, you can get away with this. Leave auto send on until about wave 10 and then worry about a kill shot. You're not going to know what to send into what until you have a good amount of understanding of what the heck you're even doing. And I think most games are won by your building at lower elo, right? Like all the way up until like plat or diamond. Being on value and understanding what you're doing on your lane, right? Knowing that you have enough value to hold their 14 send, right? Knowing you have the units to hold their 14 send is going to be really important. That's all that matters. What you send in this situation isn't as important as holding. And you can control holding a lot easier than you can control sends and leaking. So turn income send auto on, right, for the first 10 waves, till wave 8, till wave 9, whatever it may be. Get good value and then worry about kill shots. Then worry about things, right? Because sends, I think, are the most complicated thing in Legion. And then once you've got an understanding of how to build, what you can do, what maybe works best in sending to them, you can turn auto off and start actually sending. Like, the majority of this early game, man, like I send 1, I skip 2, I sent 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I skipped, my first wave skipped after wave 2 was 11. And then I saved to 14 and killed him with a 700 send. Right, like that was my entire game plan. I income sent every single wave early. And then just absolutely decimated them. Yo, yeah, no. Literally, income sending until kill shot is a legitimate strategy. And it works extremely well if you're better than the other players. Like, if you have a better understanding of the game and you can just outscale them and out-income them, out-build them, this is the easiest way to play. I leak my guy hard on 11, leak him pretty good on 10, but the only other wave prior to that I leaked him is wave 8, and it's a 17%. Like, theoretically, Don Daniel should have just obliterated us. He should be way pushed more. But the thing is I had better scaling because of the fact that I had more income and more knowledge of what I was doing. Right? Like, look at my value here. I only have 9 workers, but I have 780 value. I have 1,000 value and 9 workers, right? So I have almost a 200 value advantage. When I get my 200 send and full hold it, I immediately push to 15. I now have the same amount of income as Don Daniel, who I've been income sending all game. I have the same amount of workers, and I have more value than him. I then send on 10. He leaks hard. Now I get an advantage because I held my 10 send. He leaked his 10 send. I then hold the 11 send, so I'm able to push even harder. So I'm at 25 workers by wave 12. He's only at 21. My teammate, who has been saving a lot, still ended up with more workers than him. Or same workers as him, right? Because I was able to put pressure on him. Because I was able to challenge him really hard. So that's where income and sending can work. Kid K or Drosh, whatever, other guys in the top bracket will tell you if you have the most workers in the lobby, income sending isn't feeding. Income sending isn't feeding because you're just pushing your advantage, right? What is the leak percentage in the match you're streaming? It's the percentage of gold that went to like past. So in this situation, he leaked 60% of the gold that was sent to him. Leak ratio. Oh, sorry. Leak ratio? Oh, if you send someone and they leak over, I believe it's 40%, you get a 1 on the left and they get a 1 on the right. Basically, it just means how many times they leaked over a certain percentage. So, theoretically, if you have a higher leak ratio than the enemy team and you lose, you fucked up in your send at the end there. You gave them too much leeway, whatever. You didn't save long enough, what have you. Most of the time, if you have a higher leak ratio, you're going to win. But yeah, that's kind of that. Being able to check your stuff like this. Yeah, I mean, the graphs help. The thing I'd say about the graphs, though, Ryan, and something to keep in mind, if you haven't received a send in a handful of waves, you shouldn't be pushing workers, right? So you'll see my worker count stagnated from 6 to 8 because that was when they hadn't sent me, right? So I didn't push at 6 to 8 because they hadn't sent. But as soon as they sent, I then matched and exceeded their worker counts, right? So you have to kind of keep that in mind. And Jimmy Bobo saved here, right? But while he was saving me, my teammate saved him, right? And then their leak attempt didn't leak me. Therefore, my teammate's save did more damage to Jimmy Bobo than his save did to me. So it's helpful, but it requires understanding of what's going on in the lobby for it to actually be utilizable in game. Like knowledge, right? Like you need to know why you were low workers. Did you just literally not push off their send 7 and then, like forget 7 existed? Were you like talking to your mom? She came in and told you needed to do the dishes after this game? Like, okay, that's important to know. I need to not pay attention to my mom and win Legion games, okay? Like, come on, guys, it's just that simple. Just that simple. I'd have to say this is probably one of the weirder games that I've done in a while. I don't necessarily know how we ended up winning it, but I feel like we did a good job of playing the game. As well as I think this video has some good information in it, as I know a lot of people look for me to explain things, and I think people asked a lot of questions and got good answers in this video. So if you enjoyed this kind of content, please like and subscribe. It takes a lot out of me to be able to do this while playing the game at a high level, and I hope it helps. If it does, make sure you drop a comment. I do this all for you guys to learn more as well as, be entertained. But I guess that's kind of all for today. Catch you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day and peace out.